Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning in to the day's energy, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Hope this reading finds you happy and healthy and enjoying your journey to becoming more and more yourself. All right, the overall intentions for every reading is for the highest and greatest good. All right, the overall energy of this reading is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. A lack of independence, dependency, a lack of stability, a lack of being self. This feels like a codependency, dependency on others, maybe a financial dependency, depending on others for stability and security. I'm perceiving a lot of lack beliefs that aren't serving you, the viewer, around your finances, around a lot of blocks to financial independence. Oh, all right. So we're looking at what's blocking financial freedom. Okay, something's not working. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Boy, this feels like finances, work, stability and security. Ooh, Moon card in reverse. These are energies coming from our subconscious, our unconscious is coming to light. Uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable truths are coming to light. In the collective, it does look like there's some, the financial disparity. This is that thing. We do not have to live in a society, in a world where there's poverty. No one needs to have financial poverty. There's enough for everyone. It feels like that's what's coming out. There's enough for everyone to live comfortably, to have all their needs met. Wow. There's a need coming up to move to calmer waters. We don't have to live this way. That feels like in the collective. On a personal level, feels like you're tuning into and recognizing your own divinity, your own creative power. It looks like you're letting go of limiting beliefs around abundance. You're not tuning into the lack mentality, but you're tuning into the trillions of dollars, more money than has ever been created in our lifetime that we know of. And so you can tune into that abundant stream. Okay. There's also a message of a lot of emotional immaturity coming up. a need to mature emotionally. There's a lot of discontent, a lot of unhappiness, and this kind of belief that I'm tuning into here is I'm miserable. I never had that, so nobody else should have access to that either. Instead of what wisdom would tell you, what would inform someone is, I did not enjoy that experience. That was very painful, and it is my hope that no one else has to go through that painful experience. So there's a couple things going on here. Something about stability, security, and finances, and a need to grow emotionally, to allow what you've experienced in this world, the suffering, the things that you did not like about your experience here in this space, instead of a Yelp review. 1 star, bad service. It feels like there's how can we change this so we can, that would be our legacy. How can we create a space so those coming in after us find a better space, find that we have matured, we've made this place better than we found it. It feels like that's the maturity level. Although I would love in the comments, if you guys are interested, your own personal Yelp review of your Earth experience would be kind of funny. So, all right, let's keep going. Moving on to hidden blessings. Wow. The reading has just begun, and the moon in reverse has come up twice. So this is a lot of the unconscious, we are not aware of. It's not in our conscious awareness, is coming to be perceived. A lot of shadow, a lot of things that have been hidden, and it's in the hidden blessing. This is happening for you. These uncomfortable energies, these uncomfortable perspectives, shadows are being revealed for us. It's a blessing. So we are no longer blinded and unconscious and unaware of what's going on. What's coming up is it might be very uncomfortable. These shadows coming up, these intense emotions. You might be feeling a lot of uncomfortable emotions, intense emotions, shadowy emotions, and be tempted to look out in your experience to who's to blame for making you feel this way, instead of recognizing it's your energy, or recognizing what is yours coming up to be perceived. It feels like it's much easier to point outward instead of the 3 fingers pointing back. Feels like right now is not the time to act on intense emotions that are coming up. To process, to make space for these uncomfortable truths. But there's a lot of truths coming out, coming to the surface, personally and as a collective. A lot that's been hidden. What with the Hierophant reverse, 5 of Pentacles reverse, as a collective, it looks like we're breaking the contract of abandoning ourselves. So family systems, societal systems, governments, religions, structures that have, in this space, in this reality, as a human, when we're born into this reality, there's so many structures that are telling us that we need to fit into those structures, that there's something wrong with how we feel, how we're perceiving things, and so you need to disregard that. We're trained away from our feelings, from our emotions, from our perspective, and we need to fit into some already prescribed structure. And if you don't fit in, you're shunned. It looks like as a collective, we're breaking a lot of these contracts. We don't want to abandon ourselves anymore to fit in. We want to be ourselves. Period. All right. What you're leaving behind is the Ten of Wands. Carrying others' burdens. Too much effort, too much work. The rent is too damn high. There's a lot of doing too much. We are not robots. We are not. But this has a lot of capitalism, this type of message, or anti-capitalism, that we are not meant to be production robots in an assembly to uplift manufacturers, people who benefit by these systems, these structures, benefit from people abandoning themselves to fit into some make-believe system. Wow. It's just, wow. All right. It feels like people letting their burdens down, recognizing, why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? Too tired, too exhausted. It doesn't end for what? Who am I working for? Who does my work benefit? Who does me stay abandoning myself and being exhausted benefit? Feels like you're leaving behind doing too much work and allowing and not receiving the benefit from it. Period. That's all I'm getting from that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, how to get the most of this energy is the Page of Cups in reverse. This feels like someone emotionally immature. Page of Cups has come up twice in such a short period of time. So there's an emotional immaturity, emotional wound. Feels like those who lack emotional maturity are going to be having the most difficult time. So someone who's emotionally immature can't have uncomfortable truths about themselves. They have a perfect picture that might come from childhood where they were in survival mode. And if they were deemed as bad in their family, doing something bad, then they would be punished severely. And so their life depended on their survival, on not seeing, I didn't do anything wrong. They did it wrong. These kind of maladaptive strategies that it feels like they carried on into adulthood. So when being faced with a reflection of something that they did incorrect or hurt someone else or, something, instead of maturely being able to see that about oneself and being like, oh my gosh, first of all, I'm sorry. Am I perceiving this correctly? That this is what happened from your standpoint? I want to validate. I'm in receipt of that. It was not my intention. And creating connection through conflict instead of, I didn't do that, bad, 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 like a Darvo response. There's something about maturing emotionally, and it feels like it's tough because a lot of us were raised in family systems where it wasn't safe to make a mistake. There was a lot of punishment. And so growing up, you might still have that very immature way of dealing with conflict, not knowing how to work through conflict. Feels like conflict might be the end of a relationship. We're fine until there's a big enough conflict, and then that's it, because I don't know how to create a bridge to understanding what I'm doing and understand and be able to accept criticism, feedback. It feels all like life or death. I feel a great deal of compassion for everyone who is an adult who has not matured emotionally in their interpersonal relationship space. So this feels like a mother wound is being healed with divine feminine energy, the Empress, and Temperance coming out with 7 of Cups in reverse around how to get the most of this energy, the emotional maturity. There's a need to parent yourself, reparent yourself. Be that mom that you didn't get. Mother those parts of yourself. It's okay to make a mistake. You're not in trouble. It's okay to make a mistake. As a matter of fact, it's part of your humanity. Like, talk yourself through this. It's okay to make a mistake. It's safe to make mistakes and own them. It's okay to perceive your shadow. It's okay. It's necessary part of maturing to make you a safe space for others. Otherwise, there tends to be a victim story and constantly avoiding your blind spots. No accountability. I've never hurt anyone. I never did anything. And that's just, come on now. So this isn't about blaming people and shame and who did what. It's about owning your own stuff. Creating enough space so your blind spots aren't blind anymore. So you can have uncomfortable truths about yourself. Not as, I'm horrible. Not that either. It's like, yeah, I recognize a lot more of my toxic traits. And I'm owning my side. I'm recognizing that the more I'm sure that it's coming from outside, that is an indicator of what I'm hiding from myself. So how to get the most of this energy is not in this activity. Someone who's really got, you're triggered, you're activated by someone inside, outside your experience, is showing up to tell you, look within. And the louder it's getting is trying to tell you that there's some match, there's some type of match to this that you might not perceiving. It's create patience for yourself as you heal. That it's okay. There's no perfect here. You can't heal what you don't acknowledge. You can't change what you don't perceive. And if you are hiding your shadow from yourself, that's where all the growth is right now that I'm perceiving. It's in your shadow. It's when it comes up. Don't ignore it. Don't push it away. Don't blame your shadow on someone else, but sit with it. Get comfortable with the discomfort. I'm also perceiving the story of two wolves. There are two wolves within me. It's a Cherokee story I am commandeering kind of to make it understand, but I just want to give the roots and where the story I'm receiving it from. So there are two wolves within us, a light wolf and a dark wolf. And what I've been perceiving here in this story is a complete disowning of the dark wolf. I don't have darkness. I don't have shadow. Oh my gosh. But you keep feeding it with your thoughts, with your judgment, but not acknowledging this huge wolf, dark wolf that you're feeding. And so when someone acknowledges your dark wolf, some uncomfortable feelings, you don't have any control over it because you're in denial that you even have those shadows, those uncomfortable energies. And so you are not in control of your shadow. And so you react and become your shadow at times. What it feels like there's an invitation to in this space is yes, I've got a light wolf within me and I have a dark wolf, and they're at war with each other. And I need to own both aspects of myself so I can control both my light and my shadow. Both are important parts of being human. Your lightness is your joy, your love, your care, your enthusiasm, your fulfillment. Your shadows are your discontent, your frustration, your delusion, your anger, your resentment. All of those energies are important too, to being a human. And until you have awareness and are conscious of both sides and how they play within you, if they're fighting against each other, then you're going to perceive it here. If you're ignoring that dark shadow, I don't have that, oh my God, I'm blameless, then that shadow has control over you. So, wow. Hopefully that's helpful. That story and the new way of telling it has really helped me kind of perceive, am I aware of my shadow here, or am I avoiding it? And on different topics, I have noticed that there's some topics in some areas of my life, there's a lot more unconscious energy running, and other areas it is more balanced, and I can own. But there are a lot of blind spots that I've found. A lot of denial And it's uncomfortable to see uncomfortable things about yourself, but that's where the maturity is. Hi, guys. Hi, what a celebration. Hi, JJ. Oh, my goodness. That's where the joy is. That's where all the growth is, in your shadow. That's where all the good things you've been looking for, believe it or not, are in that shadow and owning. So you can, not so you're blamed or anything, but so you're whole and complete, so you can see all aspects of yourself. So you can be a safe person for yourself and be a safe person for the people in your environment. All right. What's supporting you is the Ace of Cups in reverse. Ace of Cups in reverse to me is giving from an empty cup. This is not love. What's supporting you is recognizing what's not love. Activities that you're in, let's start with personal accountability, where you're not loving yourself. I think recognizing where you are judging and letting go of that judgment so you can create a safe space to have uncomfortable truths about yourself without the judgment, without having to punish yourself. Are you still under a belief, are you really hard on yourself? So you can't have uncomfortable truths about yourself in a loving way. Oh my gosh, now I get why this situation and this. It's because there's a huge blind spot I had. What else is supporting the viewer? Anything else that's supporting the viewer that would be helpful? Oh, okay. Okay, there's a lot of people as our shadows are coming up to be perceived and integrated, recognized, understood, put into place. There are a lot of people that are going to be resistant to this, that are sure that they're still stuck in it's coming from outside, that don't want to take personal accountability. Oh boy. Okay. There's a lot of internal clarity that's coming through for all of us. We're being able to see much more. And there's a need to, I feel like, grace for all of us who are perceiving uncomfortable truths. Trying to hold on to beliefs that are crumbling, that there are foundations that are crumbling, belief systems, and this is difficult. Tower, false realities are collapsing so we can create a new reality in its place. And so what I'm perceiving here is collapsing of false realities and its impact. It feels like this is happening for the greater good, but it's a pulling back of veils that have been blinding us for a long time. Wow. All right. Moving on to what to be mindful of is the Six of Wands in reverse. Again, another repeat. The Six of Wands reversed also showed up with the moon reversed in the hidden blessings. Boy, this feels like some uncomfortable truths coming out. People, reversals of fortunes kind of energy. A lack, it feels public. As we perceive ourselves, as we can perceive more and more uncomfortable truths about ourselves as a collective, it's like voting. Every time that you create more consciousness within, every time that you're willing to see more uncomfortable truths, every time you mature, you are creating a ripple through not just the collective consciousness of humans, but of all beings. You're taking a vote towards consciousness and creating it looks like a snowball effect, like snow going down a hill. It gathers more and more snow. And so the more of us that are going within and are able to perceive more and more are also perceiving more and more in the collective. Not just humans, beings, all beings. And it feels like there's a lot of anger and resentment that, honestly, rightly so, of these systems that have said that this is the way we need to be, this is the way we need to show up. And people are recognizing that these systems are false. They're bullshit. They're made up. But there's a lot of deconstructing from religion, deconstructing from patriarchy, colonizer energy, white supremacy, deconstructing from these come over here and join us. We're going to keep huge blind spots and blame others for those blind spots. That's what our group does. So you can be safe from having to look at those blind spots within. All right. Anything? Judgment reversed, Eight of Cups reversed. A lot of people are unable to wake up to take this leap of faith because there's too many emotional attachments to their belief system. They can't. And I feel a great deal of compassion for those who are unable to have that. And just want to reiterate that those who can't have this, we are each of us extensions of Source. Everyone's soul is safe. This is a finite experience that we're having, but we are infinite beings. We are infinite beings and having this very finite, precious experience. It's precious because it is finite. It has a beginning and an end. So these people who can't perceive, who can't take the leap, can't perceive the blind spots, can't have this new reality, sending them a lot of grace and compassion, that there is no rush. Maybe in this lifetime they're not going to get it. Maybe it'll take 3 or 4 more lifetimes, and that's okay. There's no rush for anything. You're right where you need to be, and so is everyone else. Feels like that will help with some separation within and some anger and resentment for others, and sending them grace and compassion, or just leaving them alone and neutral and not sending judgment their way. So, all right, I'm going to continue on to Patreon. There's a link in the description box below. It says extended reading here. You follow that link, it takes you to part 2. I'm halfway through the reading. In part 2, I'll look at health, relationships, creativity, new opportunities, and career and finance. So, I hope this reading has been helpful. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And for those of you who I'll see you in a second over on Patreon. Take care. Bye.